Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey, Wine, and Writing. Sorry, I'm looking at the Twitter feed. It is episode 6, and tonight with us we are going to have the most awesome Brighton Walsh, whose debut new adult author, or new adult novel, if I can get it to come up on my Kindle because it's just being a pain, will be here with us tonight. She should be able to get in because I did send her an invite. If she can't, just let me know, Brighton. And my Kindle's just gonna not work. It's okay. Dun dun. Okay, there we go. Caged and Winter. Sorry for the black and white, but you know, my Kindle's just a Kindle. It's nothing fancy. So Caged in Winter by Brighton Walsh. It came out November 4th. Brighton, you should just be able to click the link. Check your email for the link I sent you. I'll send it again just to be on the safe side. By Brighton. So November 4th, I bought it the day of and she's awesome. She was a Pitch Wars mentor. Not see the video. There is on the Pitch Wars Whiskey, Wine, and Writing, and you you can go there and see Brighton and Jen Blackwood. They were on together with us, talking about their books, and of course Jen Blackwood, there we go. Jen was on the other day with us, or the other week, and there was a giveaway. There will also be, and there is an ongoing giveaway at my blog, 30nerdyfabulous.wordpress.com, for a physical hard copy that Brighton is going to sign. So the entrants have to be US only. We're only mailing through the US, guys. So, but I bought it the day it came out, so mine's not a hard copy because I wouldn't have had it by now. And sorry I look so tired. It's been a long day. I'm transferring to a different university and I was running around mad. So, yeah, it's been one of those days. So, and my phone is going off, as we can hear. Let's see. There we go. Let's see here. I think Brighton's having a bit of an issue. Google doesn't like us tonight. It's okay. All right. But sorry, I was supposed to have a co-host, but things happen. And there she is. I see her coming in now. Yay, Brighton's here. As I'm, pimping out the cover of the book. I have it in color, too, on my cell phone. If I can get that to see here. Where's my app? Okay, so if you like the color version better, even though it's on a smaller screen and kind of glary, there, yeah, you can see how it's glaring on my phone. Dun dun dun, Caged in Winter, black and colored. Brighton, I see you. There she is. All right.
Yay! Can you hear me?
I can hear you, everybody. This is
good.
Awesome Brighton Walsh. I was just pimping your book. Like, I have it on my Kindle app, which is the color. And then, of course, my Kindle actual thing, so that's black and white. So I was like, well, I don't know which way you're going to like it, but here you go. Here's both ways. So can I tell you, I read it in one sitting. Right? You know that?
Did you really?
That's
sitting. Awesome.
It was just so awesome. The only reason I stopped was because, and you saw me tweeting, it was like, I don't want to do homework. Homework sucks. Great. But I had to do homework because I had class in the morning. So I did the homework, not very well either, I will admit. And I just got back to the book. I was like, I got to finish this. I got to read it. So it's...
Wow. Hopefully you'll still get a good grade.
I did. So, and the test isn't until Thursday, so I'm okay to catch up. So it's all right. Okay. So it came out, what, Tuesday? This past Tuesday? Was that the 4th?
Yep.
And so that was your official book birthday for Caged in Winter. How did it feel to just have it out there?
Weird. Yeah, it felt weird. I mean, of course, in the morning when I got up, it felt like any other day. And we actually, my husband and I went to a local Barnes & Noble like right away in the morning. We were there at like 9 o'clock. and there wasn't any books out. None of the books out.
They were still in the back?
Yeah, they were still, well, I assumed. I don't know. I didn't ask because my husband's like, well, let's just ask if they're there. And I said, no, I don't want the first time I see one of my books to be, when they haul it out from the back. I want to see it on a shelf. And so we left, and I was all butthurt about it. But he called later that day and just double-checked to make sure that they had it, and they did. So we went back, and it turns out, yeah, it was supposed to be on some table. Well, it wasn't slotted to be put on that table until I don't know when. So they still had to pull it out from the back. So the first time I saw my book in a store, they just, brought it out from the back and set it on the counter.
I understand why you're kind of butthurt about that. You're going to the bookstore expecting to see your book on the shelves next to everyone else who's published a book, and you're like,
nothing.
See it.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Did I imagine this whole thing, honey? Did you put me in a mental institution, not tell me about it? Did I hallucinate the whole thing? I can understand that. That's got to be nerve-wracking, too.
Yes. That was my biggest worry, believe it or not, leading up, was that I'd go to a store and they'd be like, Cajun Winter, what's that? No, we don't have that book. So, and then, of course, I walk in on release day and nothing. But I have heard that it's very, very common, especially if you go early. And even some of them don't have it on the whole day. So we went to 2 Barnes & Noble that day, and I called another one, and they had it. But I asked them if I could sign it. So they took all the stock off the shelves and kept it at the front for me. So I still didn't get to see my book on the shelves that day either. But I was like, God damn it, I shouldn't have asked to sign. I should have just showed up and signed them. So today, actually, I went to another one. We live in a metropolis, basically. We're
bookstores everywhere. So
we're between tons of Barnes and Nobles, but yeah, I went there, and so tonight I saw it for the first time. Like, I walked up to the romance section and I saw it on the shelf. Yay!
Now everybody was sending you pictures on Twitter, like, no, seriously, your book is on the shelf. Here it is on the table. Here it is on the shelf. So I'm kind of tempted now to go to my local Barnes and Nobles and find it on the shelf. So, I mean, the day it came out, though, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to wait for, Amazon or whoever to send it to me, and I'm not dealing with the traffic this morning. So I just bought it. I was like, Kindle. So there it is. Right there.
Absolutely.
So, and I loved it. Oh, my gosh. Between you and Rhonda Helms and Nikki Roberti, I've been doing nothing but reading this week, and I've read all your books in one sitting. I read Scratch, and then I read Caged in Winter, and then I read The Truth About Two Shoes, which is Nikki Roberti's Pitch Wars entry. So I was like, you guys are just blowing my mind with fantastic writing. I'm just like, I just feel so humbled to be a part of it all, because I'm like, you guys are so awesome, you're so great. And I've just been absorbed in all these different stories this week. I think I've read more books this week than I have in the last year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I haven't read Rhonda's yet. I've got it on my iPad, but I'm supposed to be on a hiatus while I draft, but I've been sucked into this new Motorcycle Club series.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, so are you going all Sons of Anarchy on us now?
No. No, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but there are some terms that they use and just parts of the lifestyle that I'm okay reading about, but I don't think I could ever write about it. So
yeah. I don't mind reading or writing about it, but I don't think I could actually live it, because fiction is one thing, but and I still think that there's a lot of stuff in fiction that everybody doesn't like. They have their, if I was somebody's old lady and they just kept calling me old lady, I would not be happy with that. I'd be like, stop, don't. Oh,
that's just exactly it. That's exactly what I mean. When I kept reading this, these were my first Motorcycle Club books that I've ever read, and I haven't watched Sons of Anarchy. My husband started gorging on it on Netflix, and so I caught half of an episode. Mm-hmm. And I saw somebody tweeted a line from one of these Motorcycle Club books, and I was like, oh, okay, I should maybe read these. So I started reading them, and then I posted on Twitter. I was like, sorry for my ignorance, but is this like a normal term? This, old lady? Because I don't really like that. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't like it either, but it is the terminology, and it's just
yeah,
like, I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, I would not like to be called old lady. And I
no, for
don't think
sure.
there's anything wrong if you don't have a problem with it. Just me specifically, I'm like, no, I don't want to be called old lady. I'm sorry.
No, no, definitely. Yeah, I, I don't know. It definitely sounded
Like,
weird.
I'm 90 and I'm a grandma. Sure, call me old lady. But no, no, not before. Not before.
No,
Okay.
no. And the only time I'd ever heard it was, like in a joking circumstance. Yeah, I'm gonna go home to the old lady now.
Yeah.
But it was always, older people that were saying that, not
Over the hill and,
right,
all those jokes, you go along with that.
right,
But, these are young people sitting there calling their women old women. So
right, right.
I was like, my husband tried that once jokingly. I was like, don't do that. Don't, don't.
No,
And I mean, he was just
no,
teasing because we were watching Sons of Anarchy, and he was like, how'd you like me to call you my old lady? I was like, no, just don't. It was no.
just don't. I don't know. Are you gonna get Harley and ride around like them? Maybe.
Yeah, I was like, he's been on that motorcycle kick where he wants one, and I was like, well, it's not really, something smart to get in South Florida where it rains more than, it shines half the year. So I'm like, that's kind of just a waste. But okay, if you really, really want to do this, go get your motorcycle lessons because you're not just hopping on one, and then save
Right.
up your money. And once we have the extra money in, 50 years, then you can get your motorcycle. So, but yeah. I mean, but that's the great thing about books is you get to learn all these different things and these kind of different, even cultures of like the motorcycle clubs and, the college crowd and like how Cade and Winter came from such totally different backgrounds, but they still had their own tragedies and still made
Right.
it, to college and were working on their lives, even though their paths were different. I don't know. That's kind of how I saw, wow, totally different steps of life, both with their own tragedies, none worse than the other. And it kind of I like that about Winter that she had to realize that it's like yeah, everybody has tragedies, and that I think that kind of helped her learning about his tragedy to
Yeah,
realize she wasn't alone.
definitely.
So am I
She
wrong?
had a lot of growing to do in that. A
He
lot.
did. By the way, can I just say that I would have done worse to her boss. I'm putting.
I know, but Cade's, I mean, he
Well, no,
he
he was
will
smart. He's
protect
like,
her for sure, but yeah.
but no, he was smart. He probably would have went to jail if he went worse, and he had the culinary
Exactly.
thing going on and everything. So no, he was smart. I get that, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, but
I'm
oh, I
violent
know.
with stuff like that. I'm like, punch him in his face. Like I'm screaming at the Kindle. My husband's looking at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, what? Leave me alone. You should be used to this. Really, okay? We've been together almost 15 years. Me yelling at books is nothing now.
I do
So,
that too.
where did you like come up with the concept? Were you like kind of just walking down the street one day and it popped in your head, or was it bits and pieces you put together as you went, or how did you come up with the concept for it?
I was watching American Idol, and it was last year at the when they had the whatever I don't want to say tryouts because it wasn't the tryouts, but it was after that when they were narrowing it down to like the top. I don't know. I think it was the top 20 girls and the top 20 boys, maybe. Um, and Angela Miller came out. Mind you, I hadn't watched American Idol in years, probably 3 or 4 years, and I haven't seen it since. But I was watching it this night, and Angela Miller came out, and she performed an original song, and it was called "You Set Me Free." And I watched it, and I still get goosebumps every time I listen to this song. I mean, just the whole thing is so moving, and her vocals with it just really spoke to me. So I went on Twitter, you know how you do, And I said, I love this song and I feel like I need to write a book about it. And one of my friends, who is now my plot whisperer, Christina, she said, I think you do too. And so I thought about it, and I couldn't figure out really how I would work the lyrics, the really haunting lyrics of the song, into a story about adults. And Christina said, you should make it new adult. And my brain just sort of went and it was like I think a week later I started plotting. Winter came to me first, because the song is from her point of view. So she came to me first, and then Cade slowly came in, and soon I had a whole outline, and then I just went to town.
You just went on with it.
Yep.
So, okay, besides Cade and Winter, though, who was your favorite character to write about?
In that book?
Yeah, in that book. Like, in this story, besides, our two protagonists, our love interest.
Right.
Besides them, who was your favorite character to write about? Who's your favorite?
Jason.
Jason?
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the next book with Tessa, right?
He is. Yep. Yay!
I did, like, the tidbits that we had Jason in there, I really did want to know more about him. Like, he's not in it a whole lot, but you want to know more about him, because the times that he is in it, you're like, you're kind of awesome, dude. So you definitely want to know more about him.
Yeah, he's a total smartass and kind of a jerk and really cocky, and he's that totally he just is unapologetically playboyish, I guess. Yeah, he owns it, but in his book you'll find there is a reason for his irresponsible ways, I guess we should say.
Very cool. But I also like that he had his friends back. He had Cade's back, no matter what.
Yeah,
and I think
for
that's
sure.
where that he was this fun, light playboy character to the offset of serious in the book. And I think that's why I like Jason so much. He was a lot of fun to be around, because he took, he was kind of like the comic relief in spots when,
Right.
And it was great. And you did a great job with him, and I loved it. So,
Yay.
So now I do have a question. Winter's name, was it the title? Did the title come first, or did the character come first? Like,
the character came first, and actually she wasn't supposed to be named Winter. She was supposed to be named Quinn. And when I first started writing, or plotting, I guess I hadn't written yet, but when I first started plotting, I thought of Quinn, because I wanted a name that was not really very feminine and, unique. And that was what came to mind. And then a new adult came out, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was fairly popular, and the heroine's name was Quinn, and I was like, well, shit, I can't do this anymore. What am I going to do now? And so I was, thinking and thinking and thinking, and then the line in the book at the very end of her first sort of intro, where she's talking about winter, mm-hmm. and how it's dark, cold, and hollow, and how it was like her mother hated her even then. Mm-hmm. That's how I came up with the name, because I came up with that snippet, and I was like, oh, her name's Winter, that's perfect. So that came first, and the book was actually called Caged. I just call it Caged in my head, and that was only because the song that inspired it was "You Set Me Free," and so I sort of twisted it, obviously, because so much of the book she is caged, her own doing, but.
Absolutely. It's her own self-built cage, and she keeps up her walls to keep everybody out, because she's so scared of having that. I don't even think she's scared of somebody hurting her. Like, I think she could take a little bit of that, as much as falling in love with somebody and them just being gone.
Right.
Bye. I'm gone. I think that would just destroy her.
Yes. Yes. She's
So
a tough cookie, but
she's tough in her ways, and she hides the way she's weak, so the world can't see it to use it against her.
Yes.
But she does, and you can tell I read it from cover to cover, like, and I was just poring over it, like, oh my God. So, and then my other question was, where did Cade? Because it's such an unusual name. I've not really heard that name before. Where did the name Cade come from?
I don't know. I have a list of character names because I love naming characters. I go on Nimbler, which is a baby naming website. The first time I did that, and my husband came over and saw it, he was like,
"Are you pregnant?
Do you have something to tell me?" But
it's a lot of fun.
So I keep a list of all the different character names that I like, and I don't know how I found that. I did remember I had to change Tessa's name. She wasn't Tessa at the beginning because I liked Cade so much, and her name didn't work with his for some reason. I can't remember why, but yeah, you have to play a lot with the character names when you find one that you like. Cade's was Cade from the beginning, though.
Well, that's still pretty nifty. I was like, that's a pretty unique name. I kind of like it. So, you know, I was just curious where you came up with it because I'm like, I've, never heard that name before. I love it. I just never heard it before.
Really?
So it's like, yeah, I'd never heard the name Cade, but to me it's also like, what was it? Probably maybe between 5 and 10 years ago when the name Jace started popping up all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was like, I never heard the name before 5 or 10 years ago, and it was Jason. Nobody called their kid Jace, and then it just became a name.
I know.
So it's like I was just wondering if this was sort of a shortened form of a different name.
No.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, it could be Caden, I guess. Yeah, but nope, he's just Cade.
So, okay, so when you're writing and you're doing your awesome author stuff, and by the way, I don't know if you have been to the Penguin site because, guys, she is published through Penguin. On their new release page, your book is there. Have you seen it? It's there with all the...
I have not. Is it?
I had to go stalk it.
I should go
to Penguin, and I went on their page, and I was like, let me click on new releases, and I clicked on new releases, and I scrolled down a little bit, and there was Caged in Winter by Brighton Walsh.
Yay!
It might not be a bookshelf, but it is, a big publishing house that's putting your book right there on their page. So I just want to put that out there.
I should go look. I've been so inundated with links this week because we've got my blog tour going on. So there's lots of information out. Reviews are coming, which has been fabulous, and I've done lots of guest posts and all those kinds of things. So I feel like I'm hopping all over the place looking, and I can't keep track of them all.
It's a little bit crazy. So back to the question I was going to ask is, when you're doing this awesome writing process of yours, like, what quirky habits do you have? Do you have any quirky habits? Do you play with a slinky when you're stuck on something, or, I know
I don't, but maybe I should.
Between the treadmill. You've posted pictures that you don't like to sleep between the treadmill and the couch so he can be close to you.
He does. He follows me everywhere. Yeah.
So
he
does
that.
Do you have any quirky habits while you're writing? I know she does walk on a treadmill, which is probably the smartest thing a writer can do while they're working, is put the laptop on the treadmill and then, walk. So it keeps you...
I actually was walking so much that I screwed up my foot, and I haven't been able to walk on it in about 2 weeks. I've been able to walk on my foot. I haven't walked on the treadmill in about 2 weeks.
Have you been to the doctor? Are you okay?
No, I haven't been to the doctor. I don't have time for that. I'm on deadline.
You sound like me. I don't go to the doctor unless I'm gushing blood, passing out, or something's broken. I don't know.
No, I don't have time for that. Let me think. I don't think I really have any. I'm pretty boring. I mean, I just boot up my computer and I put on Pandora.
Black Widow for Halloween. You are anything but boring. Okay. That was just so awesome. I love those picks, by the way. Yeah, you were definitely not boring this. So.
Okay, well, I'm boring when I write then. Sorry. That's it.
Okay, I'll give you that one, I guess, because I don't know your writing process, so I can't help you there.
I don't do anything. I don't have to snack. I don't have to be in a certain place. I don't have to be in a certain room. I have to have my earbuds in, and that's it.
So that's just your ritual right there. Is you need your earbuds in so you drown out the rest of the world and you can write. So what kind of music do you listen to when you're writing?
It depends on what I'm writing. With Cage Winter, I had a playlist that I listened to. That actually I did a guest post on that should post soon, I think.
Where
so
at?
I listened to that. It is going to be at Pretty Sassy Cool, I think.
Pretty Sassy Cool.
Yeah.
Is that .wordpress.com or just .com?
I don't know. I think maybe just .com. Let me see.
Check out prettysassycool.com.
Yeah.
If not, it's probably .wordpress.com. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah. If you Google Pretty Sassy Cool, it will come up because I Googled it today. So, but otherwise, I just go on Pandora, and I usually listen to Videra Radio. And just now, I've been listening to Rosie Thompson or Thomas. Let me see.
It is prettysassycool.com. I just looked it up. So there you go.
Okay, good. Yeah, Rosie Thomas Radio, which is really sort of mellow music. But I like to switch it up because then I get artists that I haven't heard before, so I don't know their music. So it doesn't, I don't sing along with the lyrics. It doesn't interrupt my writings in.
I mean, I'm the same way for each manuscript. Like Redemption has one, and now for the Nano novel I'm working on, I've been compiling one as I go through, and I'm like, oh, I hear a song I like, let me toss it in there. So I've been compiling.
I should do that.
Write it.
It really helps, I think, when you've got something to sort of fill in the mood that you're trying to set.
And yeah, and I think I like the songs that kind of in my head narrate their life, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like I'm like,
exactly.
this could totally be your song. This reminds me of my characters. And it could be any character in the book. It could be, the protagonist, the antagonist, the side character. But if I hear a song that reminds me of somebody in my book, it's going in the playlist.
Yep. That's how it was for Cage in Winter.
Yeah.
Playlist. It was definitely, I mean, some of the songs I put on there just because I liked, like maybe the beat of it or the melody. But not necessarily the lyrics. But most of them were because the lyrics really, really hit home.
They were spot on for the characters.
Right.
So did you have like a particular song for Winter Arcade that you would just say is the theme song? I mean, obviously the song that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, You Set Me Free was, yep.
Now, would you say that's the overall like soundtrack for the book or the overall theme song, and then you would have a separate one for Cade and a separate one for Winter? Or is that just kind of all-encompassing?
That one was definitely Winter's song.
Okay.
But Winter was the story for me. I mean, I know Cade was in the book, but it was really Winter's story.
Yeah.
The whole thing was her her growth, and she had a lot more growing to do than Cade did, and I know how frustrating she is for readers. Believe me, she was frustrating for me too, but she is that way. So it was really helpful to go back and listen to that, and I did a lot while I was writing, and just sort of get back in the groove with, reconnect a little bit with the emotions and the feelings that she would probably be having. Yeah. Everyone should probably just go look up that song because it's gorgeous.
I also think that having the soundtrack, if you're in a bind or you're stuck or whatever, or you're not really feeling motivated, I really think that if you have that playlist, like sometimes I'll sit there and I'll just listen to the music on it and I'll just start thinking about my characters and getting more in depth with them, and now I just want to write more about them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, I always thought having a playlist was a good idea.
Absolutely.
So,
I haven't had any for the last 3 that I've been drafting, and it's been tough not having that.
it
You
is.
know,
Well, especially because you're trying to put different songs in that aren't the same for your last month.
right, right.
It's like, how do you do that all the time? It can become cumbersome, really, like, that it just bundles up and overlaps, and you're like, ah.
Right.
And then you get frustrated because you can't find the songs you want.
Right, right. Well, and it's really hard too for me because I'm not going to be able to, for instance, write to heavy metal. I just couldn't write to heavy metal. But
Well,
maybe one of my heroes
can write. Like, I like rock, but I don't like heavy metal. But
yeah. It's so much commotion in my ears that I can't do that. But I mean, I'm sure like the hero in Captive, which will come out next, Ghost, he would definitely be the kind of guy that would listen to that kind of music. But there's no way that I could put that in my playlist and write to it.
no,
You know
and
what
I understand that because it's if it's too loud in your head, it overlaps the characters and
Yes.
you're losing the focus on it. So yeah, I can understand that.
That's one of the bad things with Pandora, where you don't have your set playlist and just random songs come up. Sometimes I'm typing away frantically. What? Oh, I know. I've got Spotify too, but I'll go to that in a minute. But I've had to quick mute my music and keep writing because it's interrupted, my thought process.
That's why I like Spotify. This is why I don't like Pandora. Pandora, you put a song in, and it doesn't play the song you want to hear, but songs like the song you want to hear. And sometimes the songs like the songs you want to hear are nothing like the songs you want to hear.
Right.
Like, what? No. Which is why I like Spotify, because you can listen to anything. If you want to hear a particular song, you can listen to that particular song, and you can make playlists out of any song on Spotify. I love that.
I like that too, but I don't like that. I mean, I like discovering the new music. So if I'm going to know a song enough to know the name of it to put it on Spotify, I know it too much to write to it.
So, but with Spotify, you can do the same thing as Pandora, where you can start a radio station off that song and it'll play.
I know, but it didn't. I tried that. I don't know if I just didn't figure it out long enough or what, but it was not. It was not playing how I wanted it to.
So, you like Pandora for random music, so you can find new music, and Spotify for making your playlists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I can say that's fair enough because, like I said, Spotify or Pandora doesn't play the songs you want, but it's supposed to play songs like them.
Right. Which I like because it gives you. I mean, sometimes you get the random one where it's like, where the fuck did this come from?
it just fucking popped up on you. There you go.
Yeah. Backstreet Boys? No, I didn't want that. Yeah, but a lot of times, it's introduced me to a lot of new artists that I wouldn't have listened to otherwise.
So, are you still working on the novel for Tess and Jace, or is that completed? Should we see it in a few months? Like, where are you with that?
It is written, completed. I just got it back from my editor maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. A week or 2 ago. It's sitting in my inbox waiting for content edits, so I have to work on that. But I am currently drafting Exposed, which is the second after Captive. So that's what I have to work on right now. But I need to.
Is Captive in the same universe as Caged in Winter, or
no, not at all.
Is this another new adult? Is it?
It is. Yep, it's a new adult. This one's with St. Martin's Press, so it's a different publisher. Totally different world, totally different feel. Captive is really sort of dark and suspensey, I guess. It's
dark and suspensey.
Yeah, dark and suspensey. I never thought I would write.
No?
What?
Is it another first-person dual point of view?
It is. Yep. First person dual point of view. This one's past tense, not present. Like Cajun
Oh, is this the
Winter
one you
was.
were screaming
But
about on Twitter that it's supposed to be in past tense and it kept jumping into present tense?
that was the one I'm drafting right now, which is
Okay,
exposed.
that was the one you drafted. I remember you guys.
But the problem with that was because I drafted Cajun Winter and then Captive. Or no, I'm sorry, Cajun Winter, then I started Tessa Ever After. And then I had to stop that and go into Captive because of deadlines. Yes. So I did
Remember,
that.
you're gonna have to prioritize your deadlines.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult. It's the worst. It's the worst part of publishing. Honestly.
Yeah, I have no doubt, because especially now with Cajun Winter having just come out, you are bombarded by having to promote it with the blog tours and the interviews, which I love you so much for being here, with the blog tours and the interviews and everything like that. Plus, you need to get the edits done for Tess Ever After, and you need to finish up the draft for Captive, right? Captive?
Exposed. And I just finished first pass pages on Captive edits.
Okay, so there you go. See? So you have...
It was, yeah. Last week was really... well, last week and this week and next week will all be stressful. My goal is to finish Exposed by Sunday night. I've got about 13,000 words left to write, I think.
It's not terrible.
Not terrible. And then I need to turn in my content edits for Tessa Ever After on Friday. So I'll have...
To say you're not participating in Nano this year.
No, I'm not. But I won. If October was Nano, I would have won because I started Exposed on October 1st. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you ever actually done Nano, like before all this craziness hit you?
I have not. Nano was never in a good month for me. November just isn't a good month. I tried it last year and I got halfway through with Tessa. And I was on pace, but then I had this opportunity to do Captive, so I had to put that on hold, and I started working on that. So I gave up on that one. But Cajun Winter was a Juno novel.
Oh, really? A Juno
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've participated in NaNoWriMo. Actually, I have a harder time in June writing a novel because it's summer, which means we're constantly like outdoors here and going in pools. I shouldn't say we're constantly outdoors. We're either hiding indoors from the sun or just at the beach or the pool or something like that where there's water because the sun is trying to kill us.
Right.
But, you know, all the kids are out of school and all my friends have a ton of kids, so they're always pool parties and fun. So, like, summer is much harder for me than winter because I can hide away and be like, nope, I'm busy, leave me alone.
See, I thought it would be tough too because my kids are home from school, of course, and I'm home all day with them. But it was fine. November though, no.
She's like, ooh, no. I can understand how it's really rough for most people because of the holidays, but because I don't have the people coming to my house for the holidays, normally we either go to my parents' house or his parents' house, and so we never have to cook or do any. We just gotta show up. It's not like I'm running around like a crazy person getting ready for Thanksgiving. I cook up a couple sides, I'm good. So
lucky.
I get lucky in that aspect. I do. I get lucky in that aspect. So, but
yeah, I for the last few years I've hosted it because my parents have been out of town. So one of my sisters comes and hangs out with us and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, there's just something about November. I mean, it's like all of a sudden it's October and Halloween and then boom, November.
It's the start of the holidays, that's why. The end of October is the start of holiday season because it's Halloween, Thanksgiving. Actually, we've also got Veterans Day coming up on Tuesday. And then, you know, you roll right into December with the frantic holiday families and shopping and just losing your mind.
Yep.
So,
yep. So yeah, I'm not doing it this year. I think it's awesome though how many people are participating and um, what you can get out of it because I mean you really can get an awesome novel out of it.
Absolutely. Having written a novel, even though it was your Octoberimo, we'll call it Octorimo. 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 Even though it was your Octorimo, you wrote a whole novel in a month. So for those doing NaNoWriMo who are basically challenged to do the same, what would you have to say to them to kind of give them advice on it?
Um, I don't know. I mean, you have to look at your schedule and you have to set aside, so much time per day that you're going to write, and you need to have your goal. My goal when I wrote, I think I finished October at 58,000 words, maybe, or 57. But I wrote Caged in Winter in June. I finished it July 1st, I think,
That's awesome.
or
It's
July
funny
2nd.
that you said find time in your calendar. I don't know if you can see it, but that is my calendar. Like, it's like insane.
Yeah.
I have 5 calendars in one, basically, just on my app because I'm graduating from one college come December, which is why everything is so frantic for me right now. It's the last 6 weeks before graduation. And then I'm transferring to FAU as of spring. So it's not like I'm getting a break here. I'm going from one to the other.
Yes,
So I've
I
been running
imagine
around.
it's very exhausting.
I've been running around. They're like, oh, you need your immunizations. I'm like, really? I'm 31. I'm obviously in a college. Why do I need my immunization records? So I looked up my old doctor who I actually found out passed away because I was looking for my immunization records. And so I was like, Mom, do you still have them? She's like, I don't know. So she went searching and found them. And she said the only reason she has them was because they were my grandmother's stuff, which meant my grandmother made her keep them. And when my grandmother passed away, she got them. I'm like, whatever. Can you please send them to me? Well, at 31, when people look at you and be like, have you had, like,
What?
really? I didn't really know what to say to that. So I was just running around today like a crazy person. I was like, whatever, I don't care if I'm wearing makeup or my hair is done. I care most of the time anyway. So I was just like, whatever, here, this is me. I had to put on gloves, though, because my brother tried to freeze me out of the house. He dropped the AC down. So cold. I'm like, this is Florida. I get it's warm outside, but you don't need to freeze me inside. I'm just saying. But it's kind of warming up now. It feels good. But but yeah. So I understand the chaotic time and finding time to write in your novel. I'm actually going to a NaNoWriMo tomorrow. I have my critique group before that. I'm up to 14,000 words right now, which has put me ahead of schedule. So
That's great.
I'm still writing despite the crazy time constraints. I'm doing my best. So, especially since I also have Redemption out there right now that I'm querying, so it's like I've got that going on too, and reading all your guys' awesome book. I'm like, my husband's like, I'm not gonna see you until December, and I'm like, nope, sorry.
I know, my poor husband is, because I've been on these crazy deadlines, he's like, maybe we can go to bed together tonight, and I'm like, well, I've got 13,000 words I need to write today, so. And you need to be up by 4:30 tomorrow morning, so I'm thinking not.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go to sleep. I'll go out in the living room, and we'll, this way the tic-tacing. And it's funny though because I'm so glad I have my laptop because we're in a small condo right now, and my brother's been living with us because he got a divorce. He's moving out after the beginning of the year now that everything's settled with that. So it's like there's a bunch of us crammed into this tiny, tiny spot. So it's like my desk is in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. So it's like if he tries to go to sleep, my keyboard is like, you just hear it. It's like, so I'm like, I'm glad I also have a laptop because that's when I'll sit there. But I miss my dual monitor at that point because I've got like my Scrivener open here and my research here or whatever going on or my Spotify open. And I miss my dual screen at that point, but I make it work so he can sleep.
Awesome. I don't have dual screens.
It was a hand-me-down. My brother is a network engineer. He knows just about everything about computers and setting up networks and can build them from the bottom up and whatever. And so my husband last Christmas he already had like a triple mashed together different monitor system from hand-me-downs that he got. So for Christmas, we all saved up between my mom, my brother, me, and we all knew what he wanted. He wanted 3 identical monitors. So we got him 3 brand new identical monitors. So now I have his 2 non-matching out of the 3 that he got rid of. I just took the 2 that don't match. I was like, cool, now I have 2. Yay! I'm fine with him.
And who cares if they don't match?
I don't. I'm not that picky. I'm really not. I can see my 2 screens, and I can just, it's like, because I'm a multitasking queen, and I imagine you have to be too, with all these deadlines and writing and having to edit. I mean, I think that's part of just being a writer, is needing the ability to multitask and do time management really, really well. Otherwise, you're never going to get anything done.
Yes. And work under pressure.
Mm-hmm. So, trust me, these last 6 weeks, I'm feeling the pressure. So, but yeah, definitely. So we are actually coming to the end of the hour. Is there anything like you want to tell us about Caged in Winter, or just in general? Because, I mean, seriously, guys, pick it up. It's a great book. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it anywhere they sell books. And you can also enter for a free copy at my blog, 30nerdyfabulous.wordpress.com, because Brighton is giving away 1 signed copy to someone in the U.S. It has to be in the U.S. Sorry, guys, if you're not in the U.S.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So it is the raffle copter. Just go in, enter, and I think I have it ending tomorrow night or Sunday night. So we'll go through that. I'll pick a winner, and Brighton will mail you an awesome copy of her book. It is so worth it. But if you don't win, go pick it up. It's well worth the price, I promise. Double fees. Pick it up. It's great. And I mean, look at this face. Look at this smiling, gorgeous face. You know she's just a good person. And, you know, she's worked very hard for this. So if I find out you try to bootleg her book, I'm going to be very mad. I'm just
Yeah, if you do that, I can't write more books because nobody will buy them, and then I can't get a contract.
Yeah, no bueno. Don't do that, because we love Brighton. And, oh, one thing I did want to touch base with you on now that is the agent round done with Pitch Wars at this time?
Is the what?
The agent round for Pitch Wars, is that done and finalized?
I think we still had agents requesting today. Brenda opened it up to all agents, so anybody could request. But I think it's pretty much winding down.
And so how was that whole experience with you having the mentee and working with them on their manuscript among this crazy schedule you already had?
Yeah. I was sort of dumb when I decided to do this, but I saw this opportunity that Brenda was looking for mentors for adult and new adult, and I've wanted to do it for a while, and I thought, well, this is my chance. I guess it doesn't really matter that I've got these deadlines, and I thought, well, you know, I can make it work. You know, it's not going to be that big a deal. But I made sure that I just put in certain things that I could do. I've done more than that though. Than what I said. Kelly, my mentee, was like, I almost didn't submit to you because you said you were only going to read it once. And I wanted somebody, you know, to go back and forth and really get into the meat of it. And I was like, yeah, I just put that on there because in case I had to, you know, it could have been where I couldn't, you know, read it. But what's that?
Just because of time.
Right, exactly. But no, it's been great, and both Kelly and Juliet have been fabulous mentees. And alternates, I guess. They're both mentees. I don't know why we call them an alternate, but you know, they still work with us, and I didn't do as many rounds with Juliet, but she still got the same treatment, the same edits, the same content edits, line edits, that kind of stuff. And you know, we're still working with the query stages and that kind of stuff. So
even if Pitch Wars is winding down, you're still basically working with your mentees to try and get their work out there.
Oh yeah. This won't end after Pitch Wars is done, and I've told them that. You know, it's not just a relationship that starts and ends for however long Pitch Wars was. What was it? 7 weeks or 8 weeks?
Seems like a lot longer.
It did seem like a lot longer than that too.
Like a marathon. Oh my gosh. I was like, and you know, poor Nikki, I've been talking to her, she was the mentee, and she was just going crazy some days, and I'm like, it's okay, breathe, I love you. And I'm just, you know, I've been in the sidelines encouraging her. I'm like, you got this, you're gonna get published, keep going. So
it's awesome to get to work with them, but it's I know that getting on Pitch Wars is a fabulous thing, and I know that a lot of mentees didn't get requests from agents, which sucks. I mean, it really sucks because they've got every single one of the people that were chosen have something that spoke to someone enough that they wanted to, you know, spend their time on polishing it and, you know, making it fabulous. But it's not just about the agent round. That's not what Pitch Wars is about. It's about working with somebody who maybe is more experienced or who has gone through, you know, multiple whatever. Yeah, they've published multiple books, or they've written multiple books, or they've, you know, gone through the editorial process or whatever, and they can give you insight that maybe your CPs or your betas couldn't have given you otherwise. And then at the end of Pitch Wars, you've got this fabulous manuscript that's ready to go to all kinds of different people. So
absolutely. And you know, again, it comes down to it being a subjective field, and not every agent in the world has been involved in Pitch Wars. There's still many, many more out there. So even if they didn't get requests, you know, put it out there, keep moving it forward, you know, do what you got to do to get it out there, and find that right agent that it speaks to, because obviously it already spoke to somebody. It's going to speak to somebody else.
Yep.
You just got to find that right little niche.
Yep, exactly. It only takes one.
Absolutely. Well, Brighton, I do want to thank you so, so much for coming on and talking about Cajun Winter with us. You are awesome as always. It's been so much fun having you.
Thanks for having me.
I, of course, will see you around on Twitter and all that wonderful stuff. And, guys, again, there is a free giveaway on my blog, 30nerdyfabulous.wordpress.com. There's more information about Brighton, her website, how to follow her on Twitter, and all that wonderful jazz, because, trust me, I love reading her stuff on Twitter. She's great. So definitely, you know.
Except for this week. I'm sorry for all the promo stuff. I try to keep it to a minimum, because I hate when that feed gets like that, but I have to retweet some of them.
I don't notice that much of it, actually.
No, it's because I didn't. I only did. I did the original content, and I retweeted all those today. And I did a quick post before. Sorry about the next 10 tweets, but.
Honestly, I wasn't on Twitter that much today because I was out all day getting all this crazy stuff taken care of. So it's like, I was like, oh, that's probably why I didn't see it, because you're one of the people I have just a strict column for. I've got a couple of people that I just have different columns for. So I'm like looking, I'm like, no, I don't, you know, I check your stuff, and, you know, I just sounded like a stalker. We're not going to go there. It's okay. But no, I didn't think it was overbearing. It hasn't been overbearing. I love the little contest she did, by the way. You know, retweet and possibly get an art copy. It was great.
Yay!
I did just enough without being overbearing. I don't think it was too much. Is basically.
Good. I hope so. Plus, who doesn't like free books?
Absolutely. I do. So. But so again, guys, this has been Brighton Walsh. Pick it up at any bookstore. Support the wonderful author. And you guys have a wonderful night. Have a wildly creative weekend. Good night, guys.
Good night.